The 2022 FIFA World Cup is scheduled to take place in Qatar from the 21st of November to the 18th of December 2022. World Cup tournaments only take place every 4 years, and this is the 22nd FIFA World Cup competition. It's also the first World Cup ever held in an Arab nation. So stay tuned, don't go away, because in honor of 2022 being a World Cup year, we're bringing you the most insane soccer plays and moments ever. First up, what constitutes a great goal? What makes a goal achieve the status of great or legendary has remained the subject of much debate for nearly a century. For some, a great soccer goal is a special amalgam of tactics and what some call artistic flair. Unlike other sports, soccer's unrestricted rules allow players to create numerous variations of tricks, skills, passes, and shots. As a result, the world has seen the popularity of what many have called the beautiful game grow and spread like wildfire. Today, millions of unique goals have been scored, and soccer fans and insiders have kept track of the best of them. And it may seem easy, but choosing the best goals is actually pretty difficult. Flick back heel shots and the always courageous overhead kicks are attempted by players hundreds of times per season, and observers have strived to answer the ongoing question of whether or not it's a luck or skill that causes one or two of these shots to hit the back of the net. We're going to highlight and discuss some of the most insane strikes we've ever seen, and we'll focus exclusively on those that require extraordinary athletic prowess, ability, and skill. Next up, do you know who was voted the best African soccer player of the 20th century? We're talking about George Weah. Weah scored one of the most insane goals in soccer history while playing for Milan during a game in 1996. To this day, many people remember George and the jaw-dropping goal that he scored for Milan. It all started after Weah managed to pick up the ball in his own penalty area. Once he got the ball, he ran the entire length of the pitch, maneuvered past the opposing team's goalkeeper, and scored. On his way across the pitch, George succeeded in evading 3 defenders with impressive ease, thanks to his masterful skill and footwork. Later, George was voted the best African football player of the 20th century. One of the most insane plays and goals ever scored in the history of the game was more recent and took place in 2012. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is a Swedish professional footballer who plays as a striker for Serie A club AC Milan and the Sweden national team. In late 2012, Zlatan Ibrahimovic scored one of the best goals ever in a game against England. After England's goalkeeper Joe Hart made a poor-headed clearance, Zlatan turned fast on his heels, jumped into the air, and smacked an overhead kick into the English goal net from more than 30 yards. Many consider overhead kicks to be lucky goals. However, no one can deny the fact that the technique, athleticism, and accuracy displayed by Ibrahimovic was out of this world. The goal will go down in history as one of the most insane goals ever scored, and like Weah's goal, it'll be talked about 20 years from now. Up next, what are some of the most insane moments of soccer? Let's have a look. As we mentioned previously, some soccer fans refer to the sport as the beautiful game, and for the most part, this is true. When the game's played with class, style, and grace, it is nothing short of beautiful. However, there are times when the most beautiful game becomes, well, downright ugly, nasty, and even barbaric. After scoring the winning goal for AEK Athens against Viria, Greek midfielder Georgios Katides decided to celebrate, but unfortunately for Katides, class, style, and grace were the last things on his mind. Katides chose to celebrate the winning goal by throwing a Nazi salute. The Greece Football Federation GFF announced that Katides would be permanently banned, but apparently the GFF has a different definition of the word permanent than the rest of the world, because a few years later, Katides returned to soccer and played against Viria, the same team he Nazi saluted against. During Katides' exile, he played for Italy's Novara Calico, a Serie B team, where Italian media called him the Greek Di Canio, in reference to Paolo Di Canio, former Sunderland manager, who also celebrated with a Nazi salute during his time in Lazio. Katides now plays for the Greek soccer club Herodotos. Stay tuned and don't go away, because in honor of the 2022 World Cup, we're revealing the most insane plays and moments ever. Next up, what are 2 of the best examples of ball control ever seen? You're about to find out. Dennis is a Dutch professional soccer coach and former player. Originally a wide midfielder, Bergkamp moved to main striker and then to second striker, where he remained throughout his playing career. Arsenal fans nicknamed him the non-flying Dutchman due to his fear of flying. To Today, the 52-year-old Bergkamp is widely regarded as one of the greatest players to ever step onto the field. Bergkamp was best known for his exceptional skill and ball control, but his goal for Arsenal against Newcastle in 2002 shocked the soccer world and left fans speechless. What Bergkamp did, no other player had ever done before. Essentially, Bergkamp flicked the ball backwards around the defender, spun around, and ran around the opposite side to collect it and score the goal. Another player that is remembered for his prowess on the field is Eric Cantona. He played for Leeds United before ending his career at Manchester United, where he won 4 Premier League titles in 5 years. He won the league championship in 7 of his last 8 full seasons as a professional. In a game back in 1996, he beat 2 players for control of the ball, exchanged passes with a Manchester United teammate, and chipped the ball over the goalkeeper from the penalty area. He celebrated by standing on the spot, pirouetting, and soaking in the glory of thousands of cheering fans. This will forever go down in history as Cantona's moment. Later, he got into the film biz and found a great deal of success. Up next, what are 2 of soccer's most shocking moments? Let's find out. During a game between Petrolul Ploiești and Steaua Bucharest, a fan named Dragos Petrot Inac ran onto the field mid-game, punched player George Galamaz in the face, and fractured his cheekbone. Inac then walked around with a cocky grin on his face, and when he did that, all hell broke loose. The match was stopped, and the angry crowd shot a flare that burnt Steaua Bucharest's goalkeeper, Cyprian Tatarusanu. Inac was subsequently arrested and charged for his attack on Galamaz. Inac claimed that he was high on drugs at the time of the incident. Another disgraceful moment in soccer came from Elizabeth the Bone Crusher Lambert, who was playing for the University of New Mexico Lobos. Known as a feisty defender, Lambert went a little overboard when defending against the opposing team from Brigham Young University. During the match, Lambert looked more like a UFC fighter than anything else. She punched, kicked, elbowed, and even violently brought a player down to the ground by her ponytail. Following the game, Lambert was banned from playing by her university and eventually suspended from using all athletic facilities and programs. Is it just me, or does anyone else want to see Lambert step into the octagon with Conor McGregor? Honestly, my money's on Lambert. Next up, what are some of the craziest goals in soccer from back in the day? Let's take a look. Back in 1970, Carlos Alberto led the Brazilian team that took part in the 1970 World Cup. Alberto's goal was one of the greatest in the history of the beautiful game. Alberto was teamed with players such as Pelé, Jairzinho, Rivellino, and Gerson. The Brazilian team won every match in the tournament, faced Italy in the finals, and destroyed them 4-1. During the final match, the world saw one of the greatest soccer goals ever scored. 18 years later, in 1988, legendary Dutch soccer player Marco van Basten scored a goal in the 54th minute of the 1988 European Championship final. The crowd went crazy. Van Basten's infamous goal goes down in history because of how incredibly difficult it was to achieve. The goal required expert precision and power and was a looped volley from a brutally difficult angle. The Netherlands ended up winning the final, and Van Basten was named as the tournament's top scorer. 9 years later, in 1997, Roberto Carlos became one of the most revered players in the entire world, thanks to his extraordinary goal-scoring ability. The first goal was Carlos's free kick in 1997 that left French goalkeeper Fabien Barthez dumbfounded. You almost feel bad for the guy. The second goal was an impossible strike from the narrowest of angles. Finally, one of the most insane soccer plays ever. Lionel Messi, the best player in the world, scored one of the best goals ever, witnessed in 2007 during a match between Barcelona and Getafe. He showed many similarities with Diego Maradona's goal from 20 years ago. Messi beat 4 players for the ball, rounded the goalkeeper, and scored. That's a wrap for today's video, soccer fans. Thank you for watching.